Welcome to this explainer, okay? If you're an Indian student aiming to study in Germany, you've probably heard the rumors, right? The heavy bureaucracy, the super strict visa rules, and of course, the dreaded APS process. Honestly, it's enough paperwork to make literally anyone dizzy. But don't worry, because today, we're going to completely demystify the whole thing. We're taking that massive, complex German application process and breaking it down into a really simple, highly structured visual roadmap so you know exactly what to do and exactly when to do it.
So, let me ask you this. When do you think you should actually start planning your move? If you're aiming for the winter semester in October, when does that clock actually start ticking? You know, peak season backlogs are notorious for absolutely crushing study abroad dreams, and getting your timing wrong is literally the single biggest reason students miss their deadlines.
Well, the answer is exactly 12 months. A full year. That 12-month countdown is the ultimate solution to beating those backlogs and making sure you don't miss those crucial deadlines. I know, it sounds like a ton of time up front, but as we dive into this explainer, you're going to see exactly why every single month of that year truly matters. Okay, let's take a quick look at our chronological roadmap today. We'll be covering the main Germany move timeline, gathering your mandatory documents, navigating that APS process, acing your academic interview, setting up blocked accounts and insurance, and finally, your visa application.
Right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Germany move timeline.
These are your macro milestones, assuming you're aiming for the winter semester in October. First up, September. A full year prior, you've got to start prepping those documents. Then, by November or December, you absolutely must submit your APS application. Fast forward to May or June, and you're applying to your chosen university and kicking off your visa process. And finally, October arrives, and you start your semester. The whole thing really hinges on starting your document prep a full year before you intend to study. Trust me, delaying step 1 just creates a huge domino effect of delays for everything else.
Moving right along to Section 2, gathering your mandatory documents.
Now, what you're seeing here is brilliantly illustrating the official checklist straight from the German missions in India. Relying on this official list builds a lot of trust and makes sure you're never just guessing. This is the exact literal standard they're going to hold you to for both your APS certificate and your eventual visa. So here is that distilled mandatory checklist. First, you need a passport that's valid for 10 years. You'll also need your 12th grade and semester mark sheets, your bachelor's degree, or a provisional one if your final certificate is less than a year old, a language certificate, plus your CV and a motivation letter. And here's a massive pro tip for Indian students. Triple check that your name is spelled the exact same way on your passport, your mark sheets, and your degree. Even the tiniest mismatch will cause massive delays, so keep an eye out for that.
Okay, let's jump into Section 3, navigating the APS process. APS stands for Academic Briefstelle. It's basically a mandatory verification process that proves your Indian academic documents are 100% genuine. Without it, no German university is going to process your application and no embassy will hand over a visa. And hey, let's bust a common myth right away, okay? Having crazy high JE main and advanced scores does not exempt you from getting the APS certificate. Those scores only exempt you from the TESAS exam. You're definitely still going to need that APS.
As for the cost, this verification requires a non-refundable fee of 18,000 INR, which is roughly 225 euros. You just pay this online via the APS India portal before you go ahead and submit your physical paperwork to their office in New Delhi.
The whole process works pretty simply. You apply online, you courier your physical documents, and then you wait. Processing typically takes anywhere from 5 to 12 weeks. Take a student like Priya from Mumbai, for example. Because she started early and made sure her documents were perfectly matched up, she got her digital certificate, which is called a DigCert, in just 5 weeks and easily made her university deadlines. That DigCert is essentially just a PDF with a QR code on it, and it stays valid for 3 years from multiple applications. Pretty handy.
All right, Section 4, acing your academic interview.
Now, for a lot of Indian students, the APS is just a straightforward document review. But sometimes the authorities actually need to verbally verify your academic background. If you do get called for an interview, just breathe easy. Seriously, this isn't some terrifying interrogation. Just think of it like a routine oral exam at your own university. It's really just a 15 to 20-minute chat in either English or German about what you studied. The evaluators are academics themselves, so the vibe is formal for sure, but it's not hostile at all.
But of course, you're probably wondering, what are they actually going to ask you? Are they going to try to trick you with weird questions or ask highly personal stuff? The simple answer is no.
Absolutely not. What they will do is ask you to explain exactly what is on your transcript. So if you took organic chemistry, they're going to ask what specific topics it covered. You also really need to know your final thesis cold. When you're prepping for this, go ahead and review your transcripts line by line, and definitely practice explaining your core concepts out loud. Remember, understanding a complex thermodynamics concept in your head is very different from explaining it clearly out loud when you're slightly under pressure. Oh, and one more thing. Definitely do not forget to bring your original documents to the actual interview.
Next up, Section 5, Blocked Accounts and Insurance.
So anchoring back to our 12-month timeline for a second, we're now arriving around that May to June period. You've got your APS, and now you have to prove you can financially support yourself. It's absolutely crucial that you understand the difference between a blocked account, known as a SPIR-Konto, and a regular bank account, a Girokonto. The blocked account is a very strict visa requirement. It effectively locks your funds and then only releases a legally set amount to you every single month. Once you finally arrive in Germany, that monthly payout gets sent straight over to your standard bank account, which is what you'll actually use for your day-to-day things like groceries and rent.
Now, for your blocked account, you have to deposit exactly 11,904 euros for a standard 12-month stay. That breaks down to 992 euros being released to you each month. And honestly, services like Expatrio make this part incredibly easy. They offer these neat value packages that let you set up your blocked account online in just minutes, and they even bundle it together with your mandatory health insurance. Talk about saving yourself a massive headache, right?
And finally, Section 6, the final visa application. You've got your university admission, you have your APS certificate, and your blocked account is completely set up. You are officially at the finish line. And what's really awesome is this brand new 3-step online process introduced for 2026. You don't have to deal with endless manual paperwork anymore. You literally just apply online through the Consular Services portal and upload your documents, including your blocked account confirmation. The authorities will do a digital review, and if everything looks solid, you just schedule a super quick in-person appointment to give them your fingerprints and biometric photos. It's a total game changer.
Just a quick heads up, when you're submitting those documents, though, pay really close attention to these strict requirements. Your proof of language proficiency, whether that's English or German, cannot be older than 1 year. Plus, you absolutely must upload proof of travel health insurance, which is sometimes called incoming insurance, and it has to cover the first 90 days of your stay starting from your exact date of entry.
Keep in mind, even with that slick new online portal, visa processing is still going to take about 6 to 8 weeks because your application actually gets forwarded all the way to the local aliens authority in Germany. And this right here is exactly why we created that 12-month timeline. Peak seasons cause unavoidable backlogs. Doing all this early preparation is absolutely your best and sometimes your only defense against missing your semester start date.
And that brings us to the end of our roadmap. Your timeline is officially set. You know the major milestones, you're aware of the costs, and you know exactly where the potential bottlenecks are. So, I guess the only question left for you is, are your documents ready for Germany? Well, time to get organizing. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I wish you the absolute best of luck with your 12-month journey.